Good evening, everyone, and welcome back inside our Home Field Credit Union Studio B as we present this week's edition of the Milford Informer. I am your host, Tim Coet. I am feeling a bit under the weather this week, so please excuse my voice. We are back after enjoying a Thanksgiving break last week. Hopefully everyone has gotten into the holiday spirit and gotten their holiday season off to a good start. Tonight on the show, we are going to continue to inform residents of the dangers that lie ahead for cable access across the country due to potential FCC regulation changes. We have some other news and sports items on tap as well. Let's get to all of the details in tonight's Top Stories Rundown.
Tonight, we'll once again show you our call to action, giving you all of the necessary information to help us in our fight to save community media. Also tonight, we will debut a new series called My Milford TV Stories, featuring past and present Milford TV members and community members sharing their experiences of working with Milford TV. And later in sports, we have one final fall sports highlight reel to share as we look back at Milford's Thanksgiving football game versus Maynard.
Over the last few weeks, we have been trying to spread the word throughout the community about proposals being made by the FCC that, if enacted, would devastate funding for cable access here in Milford and across the country. It would essentially mean the end of Milford TV. Once again, we'd like to share with you our call to action, which spells out the ways that our viewers and supporters can make their voices heard to help us save community media. Cable access is under attack, and we need your help. The FCC is proposing rule changes that could significantly reduce or completely take away funding for cable access stations around the country, including Milford TV. Cable access has been a staple in nearly every community for the last 50 years, and since 2013, Milford TV staff and members have brought news and entertainment and local events to Milford residents in unprecedented fashion. Milford TV also provides an open community space for creative types, including artists, musicians, dancers, and others looking to use cable access to express their thoughts and ideas. Cable access is a vehicle that helps local residents exercise their First Amendment rights, and all of that could be taken away if we do not act right now. This is where you come in. We need you, our viewers and supporters of Milford TV, to make your voices heard. We need you to contact the Board of Selectmen, as well as your local state and federal representatives, and most important, reach out to the FCC and your cable provider to let them know just how important cable access is to you. All of us at Milford TV want to continue our commitment to this community, but we can't do it alone. We need your help. Together, we can save community media. Since we first put out this call to action, we have been overwhelmed by the love and support we have received. A number of past and present Milford TV members and volunteers, as well as members of the community, have come into the studio to share their thoughts on what Milford TV has meant to them. As a result, we are launching a brand new series that we are going to be sharing with you here on the Milford Informer called My Milford TV Stories. Tonight we debut this new series with two individuals whose stories take us back to when Milford TV first opened its doors.
Hi, my name is Lindsey Mason, and this is my Milford TV story. I only had a slight interest in video, but my school never really had the resources to explore that. So I mentioned my father always saw that I was interested in making funny videos and stuff, and he took it upon himself to ask Rob just to see if it would be an option for me to come up, maybe at the time just tour the studio. We didn't think that I'd be able to intern at such a young age, but I ended up getting an internship here, and I I'm a half hour away, but at 16 I was more than willing to drive up here and, you know, be able to learn things I would never be able to learn in my high school. When I first started, I really had no idea where to start. I was so new to editing, so new to production, so new to how to make a show and put it on air. But it just so happens that at the time, a bunch of other interns started and we were able to, you know, access the creativity side of it and create a show, which was Talk Show with RJ Sheedy. So I was able to work as floor director there, and that was really my first position ever in this field. So I was really happy to start that and learn everything that goes along with that. I would say the experiences that stood out the most at Milford TV would be how to start from a show from the bottom up. Everybody here really takes the time to teach you. It's not like a normal internship, let's say if it was like a big network where I'm fetching coffee and, you know, running people's laundry or something. You're really hands-on here. And that's something I, you know, really, I don't want to say I took for granted at the time because I didn't realize that. It was my first internship. I didn't realize how lucky I was to get, you know, people who truly cared and taught me from their experiences. And from there I was able to learn how to make a script, how to, you know, floor direct, get yelled at by RJ, hosts, handle drama such as that. My time at Milford TV prepared me hugely for what I'm doing now. Well, first of all, I was in high school, and from doing the internship at Milford TV, I was able to get tons of other internships in college, also at local access stations, each giving me different tools for where I am today. Right now, I work in Boston/Newton at a company called VideoLink, and they were truly impressed by all the internships I was able to land, because it's really not, you know, common for most people to have like 4+ internships. And, you know, anybody in the video industry would say even cable access television, being an intern there, they know they learn a lot. So they really take that into account. If I never came to Milford TV, I think I would not be doing the career I am now, because I wouldn't have the tools. I didn't go to a high school that had a TV station or took this as a course. My high school didn't have that capability, so I really relied on Milford TV to get me the knowledge I need to be where I am today. If I could say something to the FCC regarding this topic, I would say if you're considering taking away certain opportunities to kids that wouldn't have them otherwise, I came to Milford TV and any other local access television station I interned at with hopes of just learning, and people who are there who are willing to teach. I would tell them that they're taking away a huge opportunity for potentially a lot of people to really follow the career path that they truly want.
Hi, I'm Marge Sheedy, and this is my Milford TV story. What made me first get involved with Milford TV was a sign up for my high school class. I signed up for video production class, and at the time it was being taught by Adam Sasso, who just built a brand new, beautiful studio off of the classroom to basically do 3-camera productions, and whether it was sitcoms or talk shows. And I got a knack to doing talk shows because every group who had an assignment to do one didn't want to host it. They didn't want to be behind the camera, and I just sort of stepped up to do it for them. And with that, I basically learned that Milford TV was coming to town. They were building a new studio, and from there, I just kind of took what I was doing there and brought it to Milford TV. Some of my most memorable experiences here, it was definitely one of them being putting together the Coleman Candelario telethon for to raise money just for one kid who needs a new heart. His family is a great family. They have deep roots in Milford, and just put that telethon together and like just watch how it just meant to one person and one family and one community. It really, really brought a lot in me to see that happen. This has literally been a great opportunity to have my voice heard on a show like this. Starting in high school, you've literally kind of like, I guess, seen me evolve from like what I like and what I'm passionate about. When we first started the show, we were interviewing people like Carla Tuttle, who runs the cafeteria at school, and we were talking to people like Mr. Tempesta, the principal of the high school, and Bob Tremblay, the superintendent there. And then we just kind of like saw me evolve to like, okay, let's look more at the community now. And I started having on more local musicians and performers and comedians and people who wanted to come on and cook a meal with me, and people who just have workout studios who wanted to like show off their workout routine to people. And then again, you kind of saw it evolve again like the last 2 years with my interest in politics and civil engagement, I guess. And really, all these experiences really helped me grow as a person. It's helped me grow as a host. It's helped me learn about other different things. And this is definitely things that I would not have bothered to care about or look into if it wasn't for this show, really, and the experiences that I have here on Milford TV. Milford TV and other cable access stations in the area are absolutely essential to the communities. They bridge the gap from residents to their government by providing coverages of local government meetings like the Board of Selectmen and zoning boards. They literally give a pathway to local events with which you guys cover, the parades. You get to learn about local politics from me by having Joe Kennedy on. It is absolutely important to have as many voices as you can in the tube that you watch. Without local access, you will miss so much of what just happens in your backyard because, frankly, the big stations don't care. The big stations aren't going to come out for when some bar on 140 wants to have a party or whatever. They're not going to care about that. It's local media that cares about that. It's us. It's we as a community. Without Milford TV, I have no idea where I would ever have been. I wasn't really a good student in school. I was getting lots of B's and C's, a few D's maybe. Definitely wasn't the greatest student, the most engaging person at school. But with this show, it's definitely given me a lifeline out of here, I think. I would have no like aspirations or dreams or anything like go off and do this more if it wasn't for this experience that I got from Milford TV. If I could talk to someone at the FCC to just let them know how I feel about this rule change, I would basically just tell them, don't. Local access is literally a lifeline for kids like me, for old people who can't get out of their house to go see what's going on at government meetings, for the 40-something-year-old mother at home who wants to see the parade but can't get down there with her kids or whatever. This place, Milford TV, is really important to me. It's important to so many people in this community. And I really see this building as one of the true hubs of the community.
We will have 2 new My Milford TV stories to share with you next week. If you have worked with Milford TV in the past, either as a member or volunteer, or you're part of an organization that Milford TV has covered over the years, and you would like to tell your own My Milford TV story, please feel free to reach out to us here at the studio. Now on to our next top story. Dr. Kevin McIntyre is back with us this week for the latest installment of his Superintendent Update series. Dr. McIntyre touches on a few different topics in this installment, including the district's new Long-Range Educational Facility Committee.
Hello Hawk Nation, welcome to the November Superintendent Video Update. In this update I want to talk to you about the initial findings of the Long-Range Educational Facilities Committee and Alternative Structured Learning Days or Blizzard Bags. The task of the Long-Range Educational Facilities Committee was to develop a long-range educational facilities plan and provide recommendations for future building, renovation, and major capital projects that took into account teaching and learning practices, a vision for technology, and grade configurations and the best use of facilities. We know that education is shifting towards student-centered instruction around engaging pedagogical practices, focused exploration and preparation for college and careers, academic skill development and the prevalence of soft skills, and that technology supporting learning will continue to play an important role. What has the committee accomplished? We've held a series of meetings to discuss the development of a plan, receive community feedback, and create a timeline. NESDAC completed a pre-K through 12 school facilities best educational use study that was completed in April of 2018. The Center for Living and Working Incorporated completed a self-evaluation and transition plan for ADA compliance that was completed in June of 2018. We have also developed a plan to share our initial findings with key stakeholders in the community. The committee prioritized building needs in the following order: Milford High School, Stacy Middle School, Memorial Elementary School, Brookside Elementary School, and Woodland Elementary School. Two potential options emerged. The first option, which we have called the complex option, is to explore the feasibility of constructing a combined middle school-high school complex on the current Milford High School site or another suitable site in Milford. The second option, which we call the traditional option, would be to either renovate or build a new high school, followed by a renovation or new middle school project, followed by Memorial Elementary School and Brookside. We'll be hosting presentations over the winter and early spring to present the committee's detailed findings and answer questions and receive feedback. These presentations will provide significantly more detail on the completed assessments and the why behind the initial recommendations. A copy of the presentation to the Milford School Committee is available on the Milford Public Schools website. I want to thank all of the committee members for their hard work and dedication to this process. Districts around Massachusetts are exploring the concept of alternative structured learning days, or blizzard bags. Each school district in Massachusetts is required to provide 180 school days and 900 hours of instructional time at the elementary level and 990 hours of instructional time at the secondary level. Alternative structured learning days allows this district to provide students and families with assignments or projects to be completed at home that will count towards this 180-day requirement. The work students complete at home will allow districts not to have to make up a snow day at the end of the year. In Milford, we will be presenting a proposal to the school committee at the first December meeting to pilot this proposal for one day after the December break. We have presented this concept previously to the school committee and faculty for their initial feedback and reactions. What will this look like in Milford? At the elementary level, students will be provided with folders or actual blizzard bags at each grade level that will include assignments and work that the student will be expected to complete. At the secondary level, we use Chromebooks and the technology provided, where teachers will assign work directly that day. Assignments will not be due the day of return, but will be due a week or two later to allow for students who require assistance to complete the assignments with support and to account for power outages, inability to access the internet, or other similar issues. We already use online courses through Virtual High School at Milford High School, and online courses are a very common current practice in higher education. Our goal through this pilot program is to get the feedback of students, families, and teachers, and to determine if this is a program we want to embed into our regular practice in the future. It is an honor and privilege to serve as the superintendent of the Milford Public Schools. Thank you, Hawk Nation.
It won't be long before we're set to kick off winter sports coverage for the 2018-19 season. But before we fully turn our attention to winter sports, let's take one last look back at the fall season. While the football team came agonizingly short of making the playoffs this season, the team was able to rebound from a frustrating start to the year to playing some of their most exciting football Milford has seen in some time in the final weeks of the season. It turned out the team may have saved their best for last. For one final time this year, let's take a look at football highlights as we show you Milford's season finale game against Maynard.
For one last time, the Scarlet Hawks took to their home field for what turned out to be a night before Thanksgiving matchup with new rival Maynard. The Tigers once looked to be a favorite to go deep in the playoffs, but a shocking first-round defeat for the D6 Central 1 seed left them wondering what might have been. Maynard would get the ball to start the game, and they would use a methodical approach to chip their way down the field. After their ground assault chewed up half of the first quarter clock, taking them inside the Milford 25 in the process, Tigers QB Tommy Smith would look to open things up in the passing game. After rolling out and narrowly avoiding a sack, Smith would heave a pass toward the front pylon, but watch as Carter Scudo steps in front of the receiver and intercepts the pass. The only question was whether Scudo was able to stay in bounds as he made the play. As you can clearly see here on the replay, Scudo was able to keep both feet in bounds and secure the catch before he went tumbling to the turf. After a conference, the refs confirmed the Milford turnover, giving the Hawks possession at their own 1-yard line. After Ryan Pearl in the war package managed to push the Hawks out from under the shadow of their own goalpost, Colby Perez would enter the game and he would give Milford a boost, hooking up with senior Sean Lahane to get the first down. A few plays later, Perez would find Lehane down the near sideline, and the senior was able to accelerate past his defender on what initially looked to be a 65-yard touchdown. But the officials would wipe the score off the board on a holding call, and the first quarter would ultimately come to an end with no points scored. Milford's opening possession of the game would last for 8 minutes, carrying over deep into the second quarter. Eventually, it would come down to a 4th and 6th play from the Maynard 26, where the Hawks would make a gutsy play call.
Hunter Sarek takes it, throws over the top, has a man, touchdown, Milford!
Touchdown, Milford. Ryan Farrell completes it. Brendan White with 26.
The Hawks show some guts and it pays off.
The Milford offense would be back on the field in the closing minutes of the half, and once again Brendan White would be front and center in the action. Here he makes the grab on a laser thrown by Perez and then cuts across the field fighting for what would be a 23-yard gain. But the senior captain wasn't done contributing on the drive.
Takes a snap, looks left, now goes right, has White. White's got it, touchdown!
Touchdown, Milford.
Make it 2 on the night for White.
Believe it or not, Milford would get the ball one more time before the half. With 5 seconds to go, Sean Lehane would try his luck on a 36-yard field goal attempt. As the kick sailed through the air, it appeared from our camera shot to sneak just inside the near side upright, but the officials would say it was no good, and so it would remain a 13-0 Milford lead as the teams finally entered halftime. Weather would continue to be an issue as the second half began, but despite a layer of snow and ice on the turf, the Milford offense would continue to roll. Here it's Sean Lehane with another grab through traffic, and he'd elude tackles en route to a gain of 21. About a minute later, Perez would cap off the drive by dropping a perfect pass into the arms of Brendan White. It was White's third TD grab of the game, with this one going for 14 yards. Milford would fail to convert on a 2-point try, which kept the lead at 19-0. After the Hawks forced Maynard into a very quick 3-and-out, it was Milford's special teams that were ready to contribute with a big play.
And Maynard 8-2, and they find themselves punting yet again. Feaster tracking the ball back, collects it, and now takes a corner across the 30, and up to the 40, coming to midfield. He has a lane. Feaster looking to get past the punter. Feaster jukes him out. 10-5, touchdown! Chappelle Feaster, what a return!
Despite the slick field conditions and having to track the ball all the way back to his own 15, Feaster was able to showcase his speed and athleticism once again as he took the kick return 85 yards to pay dirt. This time Milford would tack on the extra point to give themselves a commanding 26-0 lead. With Maynard desperate to change their luck late in the third quarter, they dip into their bag of tricks, with tight end Timmy Lawson taking the handoff and releasing a throw down the middle of the field. But this time Brendan White was there to make the play on the defensive side as he comes through with the interception. Milford's ensuing possession would take the clock down inside 8 minutes to play. With the Hawks in the red zone yet again, you can probably guess who Colby Perez was looking for to close out the drive.
Snow has come to a complete stop for a while. Now Brendan White hit on the outside, looking for the end zone again. He's got another one to match his jersey number. 4 touchdowns on the night for White.
With the game well in hand for Milford in the final minutes, Maynard would take one final shot downfield, hoping to avoid the shutout, but Chappelle Feaster would come down with the interception, giving the defense its third takeaway of the day. The seniors would lead the way to an emphatic victory to close out the fall sports season. The Hawks finished the year over 500 as they defeat Maynard by a final score of 33-0.
Congratulations to all of the fall teams. We were thrilled to once again be present for a host of exciting games. And special congratulations to Milford boys soccer star Wallison de Oliveira for being named Hockomock League Boys Soccer MVP. Next week we will start to get you ready for the winter season. We're hopeful to have previews of both boys and girls basketball on the show. Our first full game coverage of the winter season is expected to take place on December 11th when the Lady Hawks basketball team plays their home opener against Franklin. And now let's get to this week's upcoming events.
Coming up on Sunday, the Milford First Congregational Church and Iglesia Manantial de Vida will be hosting their 11th annual Christmas Open House. The church asks you to join them right at the conclusion of the Santa Parade on Sunday to enjoy chili, hot dogs, and hot and cold beverages. There will also be holiday cookies on sale, and everyone is welcome to join in with a Christmas Carol sing-along. There will also be plenty of activities for kids, including cookie decorating, face painting, and photos with Santa. Again, the Christmas Open House will be taking place on Sunday, December 2nd, over at 4 Congress Street from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. For more information, you can call 508-429-3303. And coming up next weekend, the Hopedale Union Church will be hosting Breakfast with Santa. The event will feature a pancake breakfast, and all in attendance are encouraged to bring a camera to capture a photo op with jolly old St. Nick. There will also be fun kids' crafts, face painting, and a gift raffle. Breakfast with Santa is taking place on Saturday, December 8th at 25 Dutcher Street in Hopedale from 8 to 11 a.m. Admission to the breakfast is $6 and tickets can be purchased at the door.
Before we close the show, we want to remind all of our viewers once again to please help us in our efforts to save community media. If you log on to our website, milfordtv.net, and click the Get Involved tab, there you will find all of the resources you need to contact the FCC, your cable providers, and your local legislators. Tell them just how important cable access is to you. We thank you so much for your help, and we thank you for tuning into this week's edition of the Milford Informer. From all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.